So, in this AU, sort of towards part of the story. So this AU takes place after the end, you know, the end. Where Tord dies. He doesn't survive after the wreck. That whole scene where he survives, yeah, no, he's dead, and he ends up going to hell because, you know, he's Tord. He's not getting into heaven, man. So he dies, and he's kind of, you know, reasonably upset. He just got blown up with his robot, and then he's like, oh, well, if I'm stuck here, then the people who killed me will have to be stuck up here. So he goes to IMP and is like, hey, kill these people for me. And he does. The imps kill the people for him. And, you know, they're all like, and they go and they kill them. Once they do die, which I'll get into them each individually once they come up, but once they eventually do die, Tord is, you know, mad, and you know, I feel like it starts off with like the whole like, I'm mad at you, I'm gonna torture you for all of eternity, but then eternity takes too long and then they just end up making up or something. I don't know, this is more so of a design AU, it's just basic concepts of spitballing and fun randomness that I decided to make on a whim. So yeah, that's Tord for you. Part of his design that I like, he's a lynx. I keep saying lynx. He is a bobcat, which is a animal native to Norway, and it looks like him, so it worked out good there. I don't know, I thought that was a nice little thing that I did. I was proud of that little bit of research that I googled native animals to Norway, because I couldn't think of anything else other than robot for him. So yeah. His outfit's just the basic Red Leader outfit with my own spin of he doesn't feel like pulling the sleeves down all the way, so he has the weird bunched up thing, and because he's probably likes that, even though I don't, I hate that feeling. And he's smoking because, you know, he's edgy. He's got a cigarette. He's just like, I'm smoking. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. I think he was originally gonna have a tail, but I obviously didn't draw it, so either I scrapped it or I just forgot it. And I can't forget the floof that's shaped like his hair, so yeah, there's Tord. Alright, next up we have Tom. So, at this point of the story, we get into the deaths of them, and the more creative stuff that I had to come up with. I also want to say that I was on a call doing all of these drawings, So that led to some fun little doodles that you might see just pop up on the Speedpaint and fun little references and stuff. So Tom is the first to die, because why not? He's killed by one of the imps, basically taking Susan and bashing the guitar over his head, which Susan ends up going to heaven, so Susan isn't even with him. So he's bashed against the head, which caused, you know, his death. He kind of just bleeds out, and he's like, oh, you're dead now. That's all there is. He just dies. He gets hit in the head with the guitar, and he's murdered by the imps. You know, it happens to the best of us. So as far as his design, I tried to give him the shape of a guitar. And by that I mean his head has the uneven horns that match the bass guitar shape, and his neck and his, you know, the strings around him look like the strings of the guitar, and his giant eye looks like the pull of the guitar. I don't know, I thought it was a cool little thing, and I was really proud of that design aspect. You know, all of these have like neat little design aspects that I was proud of. When making them, I tried to match Vivzi's very hard to animate character designs, but with Eddsworld characters, which are like the simplest character designs you can get, will still be recognizable. So it was like one of those fun little challenges of making something not very messy, and I had a lot of fun with it. So yeah. As you can see, I did make Tom based off of Monster Tom, or the monster from that one episode that's technically not confirmed to be Tom, but everyone thinks is Tom, and so do I. And I don't have any in-lore reason for why he looks like that. I just thought it'd be neat to tie in that little bit of theory and lore into this. So I did. So yeah, that's where he gets that from. It might just be because he was a demonic in the Earth, so he looks like that permanently in the death. Other things. I'm gonna say he's just kind of there. Like, you know, he's probably the least upset about being in hell. Oh yeah, I didn't explain. So to make more sense, because they did canonically visit hell, in this, in the AU, when they did visit hell, but it was old hell. So everything was run different, and then there was a update, like a revolutionary era since they last were there, and, you know, so things work differently. So they were in, like, you know, not the normal hell. They were just in tourist hell. You know, like how cities have, like, parts for tourists and parts for not tourists. That's where they went to the tourist part. Yeah, I was proud of his little pendant. It's just a bowling ball with the pineapple spikes. That's about all I have to say for this. I spent forever on this leg. This leg was the bane of my existence while drawing this. I hated this leg, and on the call, I, like, redid the leg entirely, and then the person on the call was like, I actually like the first one better, and then I'm like, well, you know what, you're right, I also liked the first one better. So we both ended up going with the other leg, so this bit where I'm just messing with the leg ends up being pointless. Next up we have Batman, or Matman, or Matthew, which is the one that I had the hardest time designing, which is funny because I had the concept, like, I knew what I wanted to do with it, I just didn't know how I wanted to do it with it, and that made me mess up so many times. You'll see in the Speedpaint, I literally, like, paused the video and walked away for a solid, like, almost hour, and then came back and I was like, okay, let's try this again. And even then I'm not happy with the final product. So lore, let's talk about that. Matt's the second to die, and he dies by getting a mirror bashed on his face. This leads to, in hell, he has a bunch of mirror shards that glow on his face, and then he's ends up being blind, but we'll get to that when the speed paint goes to that part of the design. Other parts of his lore in this, like I said, he's blind and he uses echolocation, so he can still technically see. And he can fly, because he has bat wings, because why not? Just defy the laws of physics while you're at it, why don't you? I don't know what else to say about him, he's Matt. I want to talk about this drawing more, because that's the big juice of this. So, when designing this, I had a lot of trouble with posing because I wanted the poses to seem consistent with each other, but also I didn't want them to seem... I wanted them to seem consistent with each other, but not just like the same pose, so I wanted to spice it up, and I liked the original drawing I had for Matt, but it just wouldn't fit. So I might do that pose in a later drawing, and I had to keep redoing it because I wanted his arms out to show that he had the wings, but I didn't want we just have to size him down so much that he looks absolutely tiny. And even though I imagine to say he's one of the tinier ones, he's still he still needs, to be proportional to the other drawings. So this is like my second attempt to try to save it, and I'm trying to save it, and I eventually just give up, and I went on a call with friends for a bit, and I'm like, yeah, man. And then I come back, and I did better than I did before. Good? No, but better. And here's that. So this is him doing the concept art again, and I decided he doesn't have eyes, he just has the glass shards. And this is when I decided he can't see in this. He's just uses echolocation because, yeah, why not? It's you're not gonna tell me no, right? There's comments under this video, darn it. For his shirt, which like I said, I didn't give any of them their hoodies except for two. Tom and Ed get hoodies. Also, going off topic again, the wings, I decided that they're not full, they just like have a little indent where his upper arm is. So they're smaller up there and then they get bigger. So it's more impossible for him to fly, but who cares about logic? It's a cartoon. So anyway, back to his hoodie and stuff. I decided I wanted him to have the giant neck fluff that bats normally have. So I gave him the giant neck fluff that bats normally have. And I really liked that he had the giant neck fluff that bats normally had. But, and there is a but, he didn't end up getting the hoodie because it just wouldn't fit with the neck. So he gets, his shirt, and I also thought that fit with his character because he's always like, I'm hot, so, he's gonna just show off his chest because he's all that in a bag of chips, And then the pants, I just did nothing. For the pants, I just copped out with all of them and just gave them, like, generic-looking pants. Like, Tom has sweatpants because sweatpants are fun. Matt just has cuffed jeans. Ed doesn't have pants, but we're not at Ed yet, so I can't talk about him. The nose was fun. The nose was fun to do. I'm supposed to be talking more about the AU. Talking about Matt's drawing, because the drawing process for this was absolute and utter crap. But then I finally got it down, and then this is what this is. You're just watching it right now. I should just stop talking. And then finally, we have Ed, who I actually got help from friends on the VC when doing him. So we were kind of spitballing ideas during this part where I'm just designing him. And you'll see like I pause for a long while where I'm listening to ideas. As you can see throughout both these speed paints, I'm constantly flipping through the other ones, and it's because I wanted them to look consistent in a way. Anyway, back to the actual lore. So, Ed is the last one to die, you know, he's the final, he's like, you know, last one, you know, gotta be dramatic, right? So he's, you know, all dramatic, like got a gun to his head, he's about to die, and then he bumps into a shelf and a Coke bottle falls on his head. I don't know if you can tell, but all of these deaths are supposed to be ironic to the characters. I feel like that's obvious, but, you know. So because of this, in his demon form, he's just a giant Coke bottle. He has goat legs and horns filled with Coke, and they're glass, and I love how they look because they are so adorable. I also decided, and this was another thing we spitballed and ended up deciding on call, it was when I was doodling and wasn't recorded, that his face is just a sticky note stuck to his head. Does he have a face under it or not? We will never reveal that. He just has a sticky note for a face, and he can draw on it, and that's his face, because he's still Ed, so he still draws Ed face. He also has the power. We decided he has the ability to pull cola out of any type of pocket, so he has an empty bag that he always carries with him, and it's full, he just uses it as an empty bag and pulls cola out of it. He's just like, I want cola, so I'm gonna get cola. And that's what he does. He gets the cola out of the bag because he's magical and he has other powers, but he only cares about the one where he can get cola. He also, cola is his blood. He just became a can of Coca-Cola, let's be honest. He became a glass can of Coca-Cola. That's Ed's big demon form. He dies and he becomes a can of Coca-Cola. I'm laughing at my own jokes. Ignore me. So yeah, his horns and legs are made out of glass, which probably sucks for him, but not for the design, because it looks really cool, but it'd be a pain to animate. Something that I tried to mimic with these designs, which was hard, like I said earlier, was balancing the messiness of Vivzi's designs with Eddsworld's very simplistic designs. But I think I got a good balance, because, you know, they're not as messy as, Vivian's, but they're not as, you know, neat and clean as Eddsworld. So I think I got that balance pretty good there, not gonna lie. I also didn't go with the whole all red thing, because they all have their distinct colors and whatnot, and I didn't want to do that, you know? I wasn't vibing with the whole all red thing. Not my favorite, like, that's one of the complaints I had. I didn't like the all red color palette. They need some spicy variety, so I did some spicy variety. Now they're all magical demon people, and they all look cool, and I'm proud of the designs, so I'm gonna stop rambling and let you watch me design Ed. So, final thoughts. Personally, I'm really proud of all the designs in general. I think they were cool, good looking, and I liked the thought that I put into them. And the story itself, I think, is pretty interesting. I was happy with what I came up with, and I felt like I made it fit. Literally, I got this idea in the shower one night, and I just started drawing it and spitballing it to my friends who like both Eddsworld and Hazbin, and we just had a lot of fun. Like I said, I did a lot of these drawings in calls, so I got like spitballed ideas. It was just a big Mod Podge of designing and thinking of lore for this dumb little AU that I just thought of one day, and it was fun. I loved it. So, I hope you enjoy this too. I might write better descriptions of what happens in the description, because I'm pretty sure I rambled and wasn't very clear, because I do that a lot on this channel already. Like I said, none of this was scripted. I just kind of recorded it, watched me draw, and talked. And I don't know how much I'm gonna edit them down, so you might just have the first version spitball takes that I didn't even try that hard for, and I just rambled. This is one of those more videos that I'm doing for me more so than for content, but if you do like it, then I will love to do more, of just designing and talking about drawings and characters and lore and stuff. It's fun, I like rambling. Anyone who's been on a Discord call with me knows that I like rambling, so yeah, make sure to do all that fancy YouTube stuff, but make sure, you know, you have some fun, I guess. Because fun's nice. And remember to take it one day at a time. I love you.